Wake up tomorrow morning. You feel fine. No chest pain, no dizziness, nothing alarming. And yet, within 60 seconds of opening your eyes, your body enters one of the most physiologically dangerous windows of your entire day. Not because of a disease, not because of a medication, because of what you do in those first 60 seconds. Habits so ordinary, so automatic, that you have never once questioned them. Here is the number that stopped me cold when I first saw it. 73% of all fatal cardiac events happen between 6 a.m. and noon. Not in the gym, not after a stressful meeting, in people's bedrooms, in their kitchens, in the first hour of a day that was supposed to be just another day. I'm going to show you exactly why that happens. I'm going to walk you through the 7 most dangerous morning mistakes, ranked by the damage they cause. And I'm going to give you the precise, research-backed protocol that can cut your morning cardiac risk by up to 62%. No supplements, no prescriptions, just information and the decision to use it. If you've never subscribed to this channel, today's the day. What I'm about to share could change how every single morning of your life begins from this point forward. Let's get into it. Before we talk about mistakes, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your body every morning. Because once you see it, everything else will make complete sense. While you sleep, your body is not idle. It is running essential repair operations, consolidating memory, managing hormones, and keeping your heart ticking at its slowest, most restorative rate of the day. Then, typically between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., something shifts. Your adrenal glands begin releasing cortisol, your primary stress and alerting hormone. Your sympathetic nervous system activates, your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure rises. Your blood thickens slightly due to what researchers call the morning hypercoagulable state, a natural tendency for blood to clot more readily in the early hours. This is called the morning cardiovascular surge. It is not a malfunction. It is your body's ancient mechanism for preparing you to rise, move, and function. But here's what the research now makes undeniably clear. The speed at which you demand your body to go from sleep to full wakefulness, and the habits you engage in during that transition, determine whether this natural surge stays within safe limits or crosses into dangerous territory. A 2021 meta-analysis reviewing data from over 84,000 patients confirmed that the majority of myocardial infarctions, ischemic strokes, and sudden cardiac arrests cluster in the morning hours. And the common factor was not diet. It was not genetics. It was transition behavior. What people did in the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking. You are about to learn every single one of those behaviors. And more importantly, you are going to learn how to replace them. Mistake number 7, waking up to an alarm that jolts you. Let's start with something that happens before you even open your eyes properly. Most people use a sharp, jarring alarm, a blaring buzz, a harsh ring, the sudden blast of a radio. And every morning, that alarm does something to your cardiovascular system that most physicians have never taken the time to explain to you. When a sudden loud sound interrupts sleep, especially during deeper sleep stages, your brain interprets it as a threat signal. Your amygdala fires, your sympathetic nervous system surges, adrenaline spikes in milliseconds. A landmark study published in the journal Scientific Reports found that people who woke to jarring alarms had measurably higher heart rate variability disruption, a key marker of cardiovascular stress, that persisted for up to 4 hours after waking, compared to those who woke gradually or to softer, progressive sounds. 4 hours. Your cardiovascular system paying the price of those first 3 seconds for 4 hours. This is especially significant for people with any degree of arterial stiffness, which, after age 40, describes the majority of the population. The fix. Tonight, change your alarm to a gradual, progressive tone, one that starts nearly silent and slowly increases over 30 to 60 seconds. Most modern phones have this built in. It costs you nothing. and it changes the entire biochemical climate of your morning before you have even opened your eyes. This is mistake number 7, and it is just the beginning. Mistake number 6, reaching for your phone immediately. Tell me if this is you. The alarm goes off, you silence it, and within 20 seconds, you are already scrolling. Notifications, news, messages, social media, email. The content doesn't matter. It could be good news. It could be a funny video. The problem is not what is on your phone. The problem is the neurological demand you are placing on a brain that has not completed its transition from sleep to wakefulness. During sleep, particularly during REM phases, the prefrontal cortex, the rational, executive part of your brain, partially disengages. It takes time to fully come back online. Researchers call this sleep inertia, and it typically lasts between 2 and 30 minutes, depending on the individual. When you force your brain into high-speed information processing during sleep inertia, you are triggering the release of cortisol and norepinephrine on top of the cortisol already elevated by the morning surge. A study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that adults who engaged with their phones within 5 minutes of waking showed a sustained blood pressure elevation averaging 9 points systolic that lasted a minimum of 40 minutes, regardless of what they were looking at. 9 points of blood pressure every morning for decades, compounding silently. The fix is non-negotiable. Your phone stays face down across the room for the first 5 minutes after you wake. Not 2 minutes, 5. That brief window allows your prefrontal cortex to come fully online and your cortisol to begin its natural regulation before you expose yourself to any external stimulation. 5 minutes. That is the entire intervention. It requires zero equipment and costs nothing. Mistake number 5, drinking coffee before water. I want to be extremely clear about something before I say what I'm about to say. Coffee is not the enemy. The research on coffee's long-term cardiovascular effects is actually quite favorable for most people. But the timing of coffee, specifically drinking it before hydrating, is a clinical problem that I believe is dramatically underappreciated. Here is the physiology. During 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the average adult loses between 400 and 700 milliliters of water through respiration and perspiration. You wake up in a state of clinically meaningful dehydration. At the same time, due to the morning hypercoagulable state I described earlier, your blood is naturally thicker in the early hours than it will be at any other point in the day. Now add caffeine. Caffeine is a vasoconstrictive diuretic. It narrows blood vessels and signals the kidneys to excrete more fluid. On a well-hydrated system, this is manageable. On a dehydrated system with already elevated blood viscosity, it is compounding a problem that is already stacked against you. Research published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that consuming caffeine as the first morning intake raised blood viscosity by a statistically significant margin and was associated with a 31% increase in early morning platelet aggregation, the biological precursor to clot formation. Think about what that means. Thicker blood, narrowed vessels, elevated platelet activity, all happening simultaneously in the window where cardiovascular events are already most likely to occur. The fix? Before your coffee, before anything else liquid, drink 300 to 400 milliliters of room temperature water, not cold. Cold water causes a brief vagal response that can itself be disruptive in vulnerable individuals. Room temperature. Drink it slowly, over 2 minutes if possible. This single habit, practiced daily, has been shown to reduce morning blood viscosity meaningfully, lower systolic blood pressure by an average of 6 to 8 points, and improve cerebral perfusion, blood flow to your brain, within 20 minutes of consumption. 1 glass of water. It may be the most powerful cardiovascular intervention that has never been marketed to you, precisely because it costs nothing. Mistake number 4, rising from bed without a transition. This is the one that sends people to emergency rooms, and it happens in under 3 seconds. You wake up, you sit up fast, swing your legs over, stand up, done. What your cardiovascular system experiences in those 3 seconds is the equivalent of a hydraulic system being asked to completely reverse pressure flow without a warm-up period. When you are lying down, blood distributes fairly evenly throughout your body. The moment you stand, gravity pulls a significant volume of blood toward your lower extremities. Your cardiovascular system must instantly compensate, constricting vessels, increasing heart rate, redirecting blood upward to maintain perfusion to the brain and vital organs. In a young, flexible cardiovascular system, this compensation happens in milliseconds. In a system with any degree of arterial stiffness or autonomic dysregulation, both of which begin increasing as early as your 30 seconds, the compensation is slower. The result is orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure upon standing. You may know this as the dizzy, blurring, almost faint feeling when you get up too fast. But here is what most people do not know. Even subclinical orthostatic drops, ones you do not consciously feel, trigger a rapid compensatory surge in heart rate and blood pressure that can, in individuals with any degree of cardiac vulnerability, provoke arrhythmias, ischemic events, or dangerous blood pressure spikes. A study published in Hypertension, the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that adults with frequent morning orthostatic hypotension had a 34% higher rate of major adverse cardiovascular events over a 5-year follow-up period compared to matched controls. The protocol. When you wake, do not move for 30 full seconds. Stay horizontal. Let your awareness return. Let your breathing become conscious and steady. Then, slowly roll to your side. Bring yourself to a seated position using your arms, not by jackknifing your torso. Sit at the edge of the bed for 30 seconds, feet flat on the floor. Then stand, slowly, leading slightly forward from the hips. This 3-phase transition adds less than 90 seconds to your morning. It gives your autonomic nervous system time to complete the cardiovascular adjustment that rapid rising interrupts. And according to the research, it may be one of the most structurally protective habits you can build. Mistake number 3, skipping breakfast or eating high glycemic foods first. The relationship between morning nutrition and cardiovascular health is more direct than most people realize, and it operates through a mechanism that goes far beyond calories. Overnight, your body has been fasting for 7 to 9 hours. During this time, your liver continues releasing glucose into the bloodstream through a process called hepatic glucose output. Blood sugar regulation during sleep is tightly managed, but it is also sensitive to disruption. When you wake and skip breakfast entirely, your body interprets the continued fasting as a state of low resource availability. The adrenal response is predictable. More cortisol, more adrenaline, more circulating stress hormones to mobilize stored energy. You are adding fuel to a fire that is already burning. When you eat a high glycemic breakfast, white bread, pastries, sweetened cereals, fruit juice, you create a rapid glucose spike followed by an equally rapid insulin surge and subsequent crash. This glycemic volatility has direct cardiovascular consequences. Research published in Diabetologia found that high morning glycemic variability was independently associated with increased oxidative stress on arterial walls, elevated inflammatory markers, and a higher rate of endothelial dysfunction, damage to the interior lining of blood vessels that persisted throughout the day. The damage starts at breakfast, and it accumulates daily. The evidence-based morning nutrition protocol. Eat within 45 to 60 minutes of waking. Choose a combination of slow-digesting protein, healthy fat, and soluble fiber. Eggs with avocado and vegetables. Greek yogurt with nuts and berries. Oatmeal with seeds and a boiled egg. These combinations stabilize blood glucose, blunt the cortisol response, and provide your cardiovascular system with clean, sustained energy instead of the volatile feast and famine cycle that high glycemic foods deliver. Your first meal is not just nutrition, it is a cardiovascular signal. Make it one that your heart benefits from. Mistake number 2, exercising too intensely in the early morning. I want to say this carefully because I know some of you are proud of your morning workouts, as you should be. Exercise is medicine. Morning consistency is a virtue, but the intensity and type of early morning exercise, particularly before the cardiovascular surge has fully stabilized, is a variable that can mean the difference between protecting your heart and straining it beyond safe limits. Here is the problem in clinical terms. At 6 a.m., your blood pressure is already elevated. Your blood is thicker than it will be later in the day. Your arterial walls are at their stiffest. Your sympathetic nervous system is in its highest morning activation state. Now layer on vigorous exercise, running at pace, high-intensity intervals, heavy resistance training. You are demanding maximum cardiac output from a system that is already operating at elevated baseline stress. A major study published in JAMA Cardiology found that high-intensity aerobic exercise performed between 6 and 9 a.m. was associated with significantly higher rates of adverse cardiac events in individuals with even subclinical cardiovascular risk factors compared to the same exercise performed in the late morning or afternoon. The key word is intensity. Early morning movement is protective. Early morning intensity is the variable that requires careful management. The research-supported approach. For the first 15 to 20 minutes after rising, engage only in low-intensity movement, slow walking, gentle dynamic stretching, light mobility work. This serves as a physiological warm-up that gradually brings your cardiovascular system into a safe operating range. Reserve vigorous cardio, resistance training, and high-intensity work for late morning, after 9:30 or 10 a.m., or for the afternoon and early evening. Your performance will actually be better. Your injury risk will drop, and your cardiac risk profile during exercise will improve significantly. This is not about doing less. It is about doing the right thing at the right time. Mistake number 1, the silent killer. Emotional activation before physiological stabilization. This is the one that I believe represents the single largest untapped opportunity in morning cardiovascular protection. And it is the one that almost no one is talking about. Here is what happens in the mind the moment consciousness returns. Before your eyes are fully open, before your feet touch the floor, your brain is already running. Yesterday's unresolved conflict, today's anticipated stress, the financial worry, the relationship tension, the health fear you have been pushing aside, the to-do list that is already longer than today can hold. This emotional activation is not a personal failing. It is a neurological default. The human brain is a threat detection machine. In the morning, when the prefrontal cortex is still warming up and the amygdala is hyperactive, is the window in which emotional reactivity is at its biological peak. The consequence is a cortisol surge stacked on top of the morning cortisol surge. Two waves hitting simultaneously. And cortisol, at chronically elevated morning levels, does specific and measurable harm. It promotes systemic inflammation. It accelerates arterial wall damage. It disrupts the heart's electrical conduction patterns. It increases platelet aggregation. It raises blood pressure through mechanisms that persist long after the emotional trigger has passed. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that high emotional stress states upon waking were independently associated with a 48% higher risk of major cardiac events in a prospective cohort followed for 6 years, controlling for diet, exercise, medications, and baseline cardiac health. 48% from thoughts, from feelings, from the emotional weather of the first minute of the day. The intervention is specific and it is validated. Upon waking, before any movement, before any screen, before any thought of the day's demands, Spend 90 seconds in deliberate breathing. Inhale slowly through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 8 counts. This specific pattern, the extended exhale, activates the parasympathetic nervous system through direct stimulation of the vagus nerve. It is not a wellness metaphor. It is a measurable physiological intervention. Research shows this breathing pattern reduces cortisol levels, lowers heart rate within 60 seconds, and produces a measurable drop in systolic blood pressure in as little as 90 seconds of consistent practice. 90 seconds of conscious breathing. That is the intervention. That is the window between the morning your heart fears and the morning your heart needs. Here is what the research, taken together, tells us to do. I'm going to give you the full protocol in precise, practical terms. Tonight, before sleep, place a glass of room temperature water on your nightstand. Change your alarm to a progressive, gradual tone. Write this protocol on a card and put it where you will see it. The morning protocol. Total time, under 4 minutes. Step 1. Stay horizontal for 30 seconds. Do not move. Let consciousness return fully. Feel your breath. Your only job is to be aware that you are awake. Step 2. Begin the breathing sequence. Inhale 4 counts, hold 2, exhale 8. Repeat 4 times. This is your parasympathetic activation window. This is where you take control of your cortisol before it takes control of you. Step 3. Roll slowly to your side. Come to sitting. Pause 30 seconds. Feet flat on the floor, hands on your thighs. Let blood pressure redistribute. Do not rush this. Step 4. Drink the full glass of water before you stand. 300 to 400 milliliters. Room temperature. Drink it slowly. This is your blood viscosity intervention, your vascular hydration, your single most impactful physical act of the morning. Step 5. Stand slowly, intentionally. Lead forward slightly from the hips. Rise with control. Take 1 moment standing still before you walk. Step 6. Move gently for the first 10 minutes. Walk slowly. Stretch. Nothing that meaningfully raises your heart rate. Your phone stays down. Your coffee waits. Your to-do list is not yet invited into your body. That is the protocol. 6 steps, under 4 minutes. Backed by data from multiple peer-reviewed journals and representing the consolidated science of what the morning cardiovascular surge demands of us if we want to navigate it safely. The challenge, 2730 to 2900. I want to leave you with a single thought. Your heart has been beating for you, without pause, without complaint, for every day of your life. It has never taken a day off. It has never asked for a thank you. What it is asking for now, what the research is showing us, is 4 minutes. 4 minutes in the morning where you transition with intention instead of urgency, where you give it the runway it needs to take off safely into another day. This is not about fear. This is not about living smaller or more carefully. This is about understanding your own biology deeply enough to work with it instead of against it. The people who have the best mornings are not the ones who hit the ground running. They are the ones who hit the ground ready. Implement this protocol for 30 days. Track your morning blood pressure if you have a monitor. Notice your energy. Notice your clarity. Notice how different the morning can feel when it begins with intention rather than reactivity. And then come back to this video and tell me what changed. I'm Hameed Ullah Shaheen. My mission on this channel is to give you the kind of clear, evidence-based health information that helps you make genuinely informed decisions about your body, your longevity, and your quality of life. If this video gave you something valuable, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Share it with someone who is up at 5:30 a.m. treating their body like it's still 30. And drop a comment below. Which of these 7 mistakes are you going to address first? Because the best health decision you will ever make is not a supplement. It is not a surgery. It is the decision to understand what your body needs and then actually give it. See you in the next one.